Yo, what's up, you beautiful soul? Welcome to this little video. This is a question that I get every now and then from people that, aren't fully familiar with high ticket sales or the online money making space, generally speaking. And that is high ticket sales legit? So, the way I want you to think about high ticket sales and the whole online money making system that we have, I want you to simplify it way more than you have in your head right now. So, typically, if you want to make money, you got to have your own physical store, which has to be at a certain physical location. And then, because it is at a physical location, the people that are walking outside of the street where the physical store is, those are going to be the potential customers that are going to walk in, and then you're going to have to convert them to an actual paid customer. You obviously do that by, having a good store, good looking store, maybe some advertisements, good presentation. When people walk into your store, you welcome them, you greet them well, and then you obviously convert them into paying customers by treating them well and giving them a good impression. And then if they are happy, like it's a restaurant or it's a clothing store, they will keep returning as customers. So that is how it works in a physical store. Now, what is something online? Like, what does it mean to make money online? Is it like that we are printing the money out of thin air? Is it just, flying into your bank account just like that? No, it isn't. It's really simple. How I want you to see it is the internet is also a location. So just like you have a physical store at a physical location, when you have a company that is online, let's say an e-commerce store or a coaching business that you run virtually through Zoom calls and through a platform like this on School, for example, that is also a location. It's just a virtual online location. So you are on your phone or on your laptop right now, watching this through the internet. And you probably know me from social media where we, met virtually. So I have my store on social media in the form of Instagram, in the form of YouTube, etc. Well, you saw my little store, which is my Instagram profile or my YouTube channel or an advertisement, and you were in that virtual location. You were on your phone or on your laptop where you saw me, right? So that is how I want you to visualize it, okay? Because then it's gonna become more tangible to you what, making money online exactly is. So let's go back in the days, right? Let's go back like a couple thousand years ago when the internet didn't exist. Well, the internet didn't even exist 100 years ago, but let's just, go back a couple thousand years. And you and your ancestors, you guys lived in a small little village, and there was a big city, that's a couple tens of kilometers away. There's a big city, and in the big city is where they produce all the big stuff, like let's say the big carpets and the horse carriages, like the best quality ones, etc. Now, you go ahead and you go to the city, right? You travel there, you go there with a friend. And the reason you go there is because you want to buy those carpets and get them on the new horse carriage that you have, and you bring them back to the village to sell them in the village for a little bit more money. So people are doing this on the internet as well with their e-commerce stores. So, there's a store, an e-commerce store, and people are finding a supplier from China or whatever, and they are listing those items on their own website for a little bit more money. And they make a little bit of money on every sale because they have some profit, some margin. Okay, so that is e-commerce, for example. That is not what we are doing here. We are doing high ticket sales. But I just wanted to explain to you, generally the whole money making online thing. And that it isn't rocket science. It's just that instead of you having a physical location where you run your store, it's just a virtual thing. Now, I mentioned e-commerce just to make it give you a little bit of an image of how the whole online money making thing works. But we're gonna do something much more simple than e-commerce, which is high ticket sales. And I'm gonna go over the question of, is it legit? Is it not legit? And, I'm just gonna share about that as well. So unlike e-commerce, where you have to do a lot of different things, juggle a lot of balls, and because you have to juggle a lot of balls, you have to learn a lot of different skills to be able to do that. So imagine if you obviously want to run your own e-commerce store, you need to build that store. Especially in the beginning, if you don't have a high budget to have someone make it for you, you need to build it yourself. And even though there are tools online like Shopify, which help you build a store in a very easy way, you still have to know how to build it. Like, you can use a random template, obviously, but everyone is using that template. Your store needs to look unique, and you need to know, where do you put the image? Where do you put the text? What do you write in the text? So that's another thing. You need to know copywriting. So the first skill is like designing and making the website. The second one is like copywriting, like what text do you write? The third thing is you have to know like which products are the ones that sell, which ones are the ones that don't sell. You have to find those products, you have to find a supplier. Eventually you're gonna have a team because you have customer service that needs to be taken care of. You're gonna get hundreds of emails. Someone has to do that for you, so you need to have a team of people that can take care of a lot of different components of your business. You need to obviously run ads because you need traffic on your website, right? You need visitors. If you make a website, people will not just randomly find your website, right? You need to understand branding, what kind of like logo, what kind of store name do you use? Well, you get my point. These are a lot of different skills that you have to learn, and you're building an actual business. Now, the advantage of this is obviously you have a big potential of making a lot of money. But if this is your first time trying to make money online, it might be a little bit too complicated to juggle and do all of these things. So we have high ticket sales, which is just one skill that you have to learn, the skill of sales, which is communication, psychology, just basic, communication with another human being. And that's it. When you learn this skill, you can use this skill to do high ticket sales calls, and you get a commission if you close the deal. And I'll explain to you like exactly how that looks like and how that works in practice in a very simple way and why it is needed. Well, the first thing is, who are you going to be doing high ticket sales for? Mainly, you're going to be doing this for business owners that are quite popular, and they get a lot of requests from people about those people wanting to buy their high ticket product, which is a course, a mentorship program. It could also be physical products which you can sell like as a high ticket closer. Like think about, I have a student that's selling tennis courts for rich people. So let's say a rich person has a giant mansion, villa, and they want a tennis court in their backyard. It's a possibility, of course. Like, you guys know that rich people have that shit in their backyard. So obviously they need to know, like, who do I go to? And, they want to be convinced about, set company building that tennis court. So they book in a call. They call the company, to get some information. So there's a high ticket closer on the other end talking to the rich person and, informing them about the tennis court, and then that guy gets a commission. So you can do tennis courts, you can do jacuzzis, saunas, you can sell yachts, you name it, right? So those are high ticket physical products, but we mainly focus on the info business industry because it is the revolutionary industry that we're in, that is changing, the world, because people are waking up to the fact that, regular college where you go and you sit in a classroom and you are learning from an old, bald, 55-year-old guy that, never had a company. You're learning entrepreneurship from a guy like that. And the only thing that guy learned was, how to teach entrepreneurship and business to people, to students, because, he followed a study himself where he just got qualified on teaching the subject, but he didn't really put his, feet in the water, let alone swim as an entrepreneur himself. And people are waking up. People don't want to learn from these people anymore. And you can see it in class. If you've ever, gone to class, which I'm sure you have, like you fall asleep, right? A lot of the time, or your friends fall asleep. This is a fact you cannot deny. And you fall asleep because it's not interesting, but also because your brain is signaling to you, this guy teaching you this subject isn't qualified. So your brain is like, okay, this is boring, this is irrelevant, let's just fall asleep. Because, being awake and paying attention and remembering things requires a lot of energy. And your brain is deciding in that moment, this is not worth our energy because it's not relevant, it's not real, the person isn't qualified. So people want to learn from actual people that have walked the walk. Like someone like Samuel Onuha, where we have Sufyan closing for him. Sufyan is making over 36K a month being a closer. And Samuel's the owner of Icon Amsterdam, which is a big brand that's doing over $1 million a month. And, some people want to build a brand themselves as well, like something that looks like Icon, something big. So they want to learn from someone like Samuel, who has built it, who's doing over $1 million a month with his brand. They want to learn from someone that has walked the walk. And Samuel's a very young guy. I believe at the time of shooting this video, just 24 years old. But people are paying thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to Samuel and his coaching team in order to learn how to build a brand like that, because he's actually walked the walk. And that is the industry that we're in. Or for example, Roslan, who's extremely fit, and he recently launched an app where he teaches people his Muay Thai tricks, the Taekwondo stuff, the calisthenics stuff. Very talented guy, very strong guy. People want to learn how to become fit from someone like him instead of someone that is fat and isn't in shape, like what you see in most gyms. If you go to it, most of these gym coaches that are inside that, work for the gym, you see that they are quite out of shape, especially if you go to like those commercial gyms. I'm sure you know who I'm referring to and what I'm talking about. So the revolution that is going on right now is people want to learn from people that have a track record and are good at what they actually, teach to others. So far, I hope everything like this makes sense. So you can imagine Samuel or Ross or Ibrahim, one of the clients that we work with, calisthenics coach. These guys have hundreds of thousands of followers, some even millions. They cannot take every single call with every person that is interested in their product. So we need someone called a high ticket closer. And high ticket closer is what you become when you follow this course and when you follow everything I'm saying. And this is what I was doing for the past couple of years and how I was able to travel, which is, if you're a high ticket closer, it means you're doing high ticket sales. So that is what it's called. And as a high ticket closer, you're simply just calling with the qualified people that want to know a little bit more about the product before they buy it, because it's a high ticket product. Like think about 5K, 6K USD plus. They don't want to just like immediately buy it right off the way of the website. Some people do that, but most people, they want to ask some questions and get some clarity to know that this is the right product for them before they actually make that jump, right? So we need someone called the high ticket closer that's going to do that call for around 30 to 45 minutes, and then they get a commission when they do it. So I hope so far all of this makes sense. So all you have to learn is, how do you do that call? How do you talk to this person? What kinds of questions do you ask? What kind of body language do you use? what makes this person buy and what makes this person not buy? What is the psychology behind the whole thing? Extremely interesting stuff, life-changing stuff, especially if you're watching this and you're kind of like an introvert and you kind of have difficulties making friends outside and all that kind of stuff. This is going to help you a lot, because not only is this going to give you the opportunity to make money remotely from the comfort of your home or the Airbnb that you're renting out, like wherever you are in the world. Right now, for example, I am in Thailand. 2 weeks ago, I was in Lebanon. A little bit before that, I was in Dubai. I was in Saudi Arabia. I was in Bali. And I've been to a lot of countries so far as a closer. You can check everything out on Instagram, but I'm sure you've seen the lifestyle that I have been able to live over the past 5 years, because I was a closer myself and I was doing these calls for these different business owners. All right, cool. So I think now it's clear what high ticket sales is. So simply means you are taking the calls for these business owners that are way too busy to do the calls themselves. You can imagine how important this role is and how grateful the business owner is to have you as a closer. This is all it is. There's nothing that cannot be legit about it. It's a very simple model. And if you're on Instagram or YouTube and you see an advertisement and you click through, eventually you can book in a call. And you see hundreds of these ads and hundreds of these coaches and hundreds of these companies and agencies that provide a service where you can book in a call before you take that service. And the person that is doing those calls, that's a closer. And I'm not just talking about info businesses where you can learn something, but I'm talking about agencies, marketing agencies. Marketing agency is a company that runs the advertisements for your company. If you had a company and you want an agency to advertise for it, let's say you have a restaurant and you don't have a lot of people that come to your restaurant, then you hire a marketing agency and they will run advertisements for you so people walk through the door. Well, the same thing is if you own a gym, you use a marketing agency, all this kind of stuff. Or if you want a website, there's website agencies, they build your website, right? And the business owner wants to book in a call with the web design agency before they let them make the website. Plus you need to say what kind of website you want. So it's very simple. You can become a high ticket closer for every single company out there that has a high ticket product and that uses a call booking system in order to get clients in the door. If that company has that, then you can go ahead and apply and become a high ticket closer for that company. But more on that later in one of the other videos. So here I just wanted to show you a little bit my 2 cents. Is high ticket sales legit? Will it work for you? All that kind of stuff. Yeah, so it's very simple. You don't have to build your own business. You don't have to start your own company or any of that kind of stuff. It is just learning this one skill, a skill that is so vital that you need in your life anyway. You need this skill. You need to have this. And then you learn the skill, you apply for a high ticket closer position as a freelancer. You take on some calls. If you close them, you get a commission, which ranges between 10 and 30%. And if you don't close, well, then you don't get a commission and you just take the second call and the third call up until you do close. And, that's pretty much it. That's simply how it works. If there's any questions, by the way, after watching this, because I talked a lot, I explained a lot, just send me a message here, direct message on Skool or on Instagram, wherever you like and prefer, and be more than happy to help you out and understand it a little bit better.